Hello, Mr. Shyamalan. First of all, I would like to apologize for my awful English and Russian accent, but this is an inevitability, just like aging. It's a great honor for me to interview you. To be honest, I still cannot believe it because I'm a big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you.
And I always look forward to every new film. It's true.
Please be careful with time. It can be tricky sometimes.
Is it by chance that you release a film about the relentless passage of time exactly in the year of your 50th anniversary? Is this a coincidence or a manifesto in honor of the passage of a half-century mark?
Probably you're right. It's somewhere related to that. I got this graphic novel a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, so it's a little earlier. By the time we get to sit and talk about it, many years have passed from the decision to make it, but definitely about getting older. And I think for so much of my life, I was kind of thought of myself and others thought of me as kind of the young guy who does this or that. I also looked very young when I was a kid, so even in my 20s, I looked like I was 14, 15 years old. So I always got that. That was how the world related to me of like, wait, how old are you? How old are you? And now when I'm here at this age, kind of thinking about, I'm like in the middle, seeing my kids become adults and then seeing my parents become very frail and old. And, I didn't get to see them yesterday because I was doing interviews and I'm worried about them, and are they okay? And so all of these things are on my mind. My relationship to time is like, where am I? I'm seeing both ends of it. And this story definitely comes out of those feelings.
I have 2 sons. The youngest one had a birthday yesterday, and I realize with bitterness how rapidly they are growing up. You have 3 daughters.
Yes.
Have you ever had such thoughts during the work on Old? And would this film be different if you directed it when you weren't a dad yet?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can see what my life is like from the movies that I make, what my mind is on, my children, about marriage, about parents, watching my daughters become adults and now they're professionals. 2 of the 3 of them are professionals now. We go to a restaurant. We went to a restaurant yesterday after the interviews and, my daughter walks in and everybody's, looking at her and she's extremely beautiful. And I'm like, oh, wow, she's not that little baby that I carry. I'm seeing the world differently, She's relating to the world differently. The world's relating to her as an adult. And so you're kind of stunned. Wow, they're seeing 2 adults here. It's a very strange thing. And as you know with your kids, it goes so fast. You look at a photo, you remember them the way they were, but that seemed like it was just yesterday that they were like that.
In 2021, why are you shooting with 35 millimeters film?
Wow, what a great question. For me, art requires limitations. That is where the beauty of it comes. Whether that philosophy goes to performance, about being minimalistic, cinematography, what's outside the frame, the budgets of the movies, that if just pick a random movie. Sixth Sense is not better if you give me $10 more million to make it. It does not get better. That's not how it works, right? It's all in what are the things, the tools we have to tell the story. And shooting on 35 millimeter, the limitations of that format is the beauty of it, the grain of it, the what it's capturing, what it's not capturing. Whereas digital captures everything, and it leaves you a little bit cold, especially when you're shooting in water or beach, naturalistic environments like a jungle. It's too much information. Our eye and our emotions can't grab it. We need someone to curate it, and film does that in this beautiful, naturalistic way. For me, there's nothing, they try to mimic it by creating like film grains and things like that for digital, but still inside here, it's not an organic thing. So I tried everything. I looked at every format, shot on the beach, tests of every format, and film, I could show them all to you. You would see what I'm seeing, that, wow, it just feels more real and alive.
The best film of all time for you.
There's no such thing like that. There is no such it's art, so it connects with you at certain moments in your life. I have many that Raiders of the Lost Ark was super, super important to me at 12 years old when I saw it and what that meant to me. The experience was incredibly powerful. When I saw The Exorcist, when I saw Godfather, these are all, Jaws. But, most of those that I just mentioned, I never saw in the theater because I was too young to see them, or they were before I was born. They came out, but when I did get to see them, they impacted me so much. But Raiders, I saw in the theaters, and It was incredible in an old theater, and it was, 800 people, and the lights went down. No one could sit next to each other. It was so packed, and then that mountain came on in the logo, and I had religion.
No, this is wrong answer. I waited for Terminator 2. This is not your first film where children play an important role.
Yeah.
What is the reason for this?
Probably because I see kind of that moment where we lose our innocence as a very poignant time in our lives, where we become from children to adults, and maybe seeing kind of darker events, kind of scarier events through their eyes, and how they come out on the other side of it changed and hopefully stronger if they get through is interesting to me. Maybe a lot of times painters or authors kind of repeat certain themes, and this is something, I guess, of interest to me, children, and how the best of us can hold that in our hearts for our whole lives, that we can hold that part of ourselves that we're children, rather than kind of becoming dark and cynical too much,
Would you like to make an animation project? Or do you like working with real people more?
There was a while ago, I had a conversation with someone about doing an animated project. I think I would enjoy it because I do draw all my shots. So I already kind of do the animation thinking in advance. I make the movie in my head first, and then we go and shoot that movie. So it's similar to animation. So that's what makes me think sometimes that maybe I would enjoy doing an animated film. I know they take 3-4 years to do, so it's a very long process.
Thank you very much for the interview. I will not waste your time anymore. This one only works in Russia because the name of the old was translated in Russia like Время, time. Have a good time, Mr. Шьямалан.
Thank you, sir. Fun to talk to you.
Время.
Всю жизнь ждал этой встречи, а поговорили 10 минут.